Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my new channel, NFL Draft Dialogue. My name is Randy. I have been following the NFL draft for about 15 years now. I remember my first NFL draft that I really got interested in. It was 2009, Brian Arakpo. The guy was a physical specimen coming off the edge. And that's what really started getting me into the draft. Obviously, I'm a Patriots fan. I'm not always going to be wearing Patriots stuff. I just thought that would be good for the introductory video here. I really got in the NFL in the mid-90s, 96. The Patriots had a send-off parade. I lived just outside Boston at the time and went. And, I mean, I was, 30 feet from the team, and it just really, that's when it started to get my interest. I followed them for a number of years throughout the early Brady years and such. And then again in 2009, that's when the draft really started to catch my interest, the off-season activities. And it's really become, for me, the off-season is more exciting than the regular season, to be honest. Since the Patriots have stopped really being a lock for the AFC Championship every year, I've actually gotten a little bit more interested in things. The offseason gets a little more interesting when you're picking high. And Bill Belichick was incredibly frustrating to watch through the draft process. It's just unpredictable and hard to follow his logic sometimes. I'm interested to see how this new regime continues to build up in the offseason. With that being said, I thought a great way to start this channel would be with a quick 4-round Patriots mock draft. I've been studying this class since November, running full mocks, Patriots mocks, etc. Since then, I've done hundreds of them. And this is the mock that I am currently feeling the best about, I guess. Now, obviously, free agency started last week. We're through the bulk of it. Look, it never really ends. There, you can always pick up more free agents, but we're through the bulk of it. We've seen the big names that are going to go off the board, probably go off the board, and we've kind of got some answers about direction and so forth. So, with that being said, let's hop right into Patriots 4-round mock draft. Now, round one, we have the 4th overall pick. I'm not doing trades in this mock draft, but I honestly just don't think that the Patriots are going to trade this pick. I think that Vrabel is very much a my guy type of guy, right? And he sees a guy, and that's his guy. And I heard early on in the process at the Senior Bowl, a lot of reporters and such went down to cover the Senior Bowl, and one of them had said that it was kind of a poorly kept secret, essentially, that the Patriots absolutely loved Will Campbell. They thought he was the best player in the class. They would probably take him first if they had the 1st overall pick. And they wouldn't trade down to do it. And that just doesn't surprise me. Look, you see the moves in free agency, specifically contracts for guys like Robert Spillane and Harold Landry, which most people felt were at least a little overvalued, if not really overvalued. I mean, Harold Landry contract arguably is very overvalued. He was released from a Titans team that has no other pass rushing answers, and signed to almost the same amount contract here with essentially no competition. I mean, it felt like we were bidding against ourselves, even though we weren't really bidding, but who was going to give him a higher offer if Vrabel and company had given him, $7 or $8 million a year instead of the 14 to 15 that they did. So the point is that Vrabel sees players and he values them differently than other people do, and he doesn't care how other people value them. He's going to come in with the value that he has for you and just go from there. I think that he's going to approach the draft similarly. And with all that being said, Will Campbell's at the top of their board when they're picking 4th. I don't think they're going to trade down and and think about that sort of thing, I think that they're going to say, we want our guy, this is our guy, we're going to go get our guy. And I think Will Campbell's their guy. I don't think the arm length or the wingspan are the biggest deal for Vrabel in them. I think the biggest deal for them is character, leadership, building a culture. I know some people think that sort of thing's overrated. I don't. I absolutely 100% think that, you know, most of the guys in this league are athletic. They're talented, and when given the opportunity, they can succeed. I think leadership and culture are big deals for building a team, and I think that Will Campbell oozes those things. All right, this is a guy who was given the number 7 at LSU, and that means essentially LSU gives that to their best playmaker. And this is the first time that they've ever given that to an offensive lineman. So Will Campbell is that type of player where he's going to be out there making plays, setting the example, and just from day one, even as a younger player on the team, is going to be the leader. And I think that Mike Vrabel and company value that, especially at this stage in building the team, right? A few years down the road, when you have a good culture set, then you can think about talent over character, maybe, right, for some players. I think that in this particular instance, the character and leadership is all that's going to matter. Will Campbell's going to come off the board at 4. And so then and I think, for the record, I think they're going to give him a chance to play tackle. Okay, we saw Vrabel and the GM in Tennessee draft Skronsky. Peter Skronsky a few years back. He had short arms. He wasn't quite built to play a tackle, but he was projected to maybe be a guy that could play multiple positions. They gave him a chance for a year at left tackle, I believe, before they went and drafted another tackle, and also played him out of position because Latham was a right tackle, not a left. But anyway, so they gave Skronsky the chance to play tackle. I think they're going to do the same exact thing with Campbell. I think that they're going to give him the chance to play tackle, and likely, if that doesn't work out, then next year slide him into guard and draft a better tackle, or maybe sign a better tackle. Moving on to round 2, the 38th overall pick. For me, a great fit for this team in this range is Jaden Higgins. He's a 6'4" receiver out of Iowa State. He's had about 2,000 yards of production over the last 2 seasons combined. And the Patriots need a true X receiver. This is the guy, okay? 6'4", 4.4 speed. He could jump out of the building. Great range. Long arms, like 34 and a half, I think it was, his arms. So that's a great catch radius, okay? He's good with the contested balls. He is always trying to get the yards after catch. And, he had a lot of production in college with a questionable quarterback and another capable receiver competing for targets in Jalen Noel. He played his role well, and I think he's the ideal pick for us in this range. Moving on to the 69th overall pick, which is in round 3, I've got here Oluwafemi Oladejo out of UCLA. He's a former linebacker turned edge. Think Abdul Carter, Jalen Walker, those sorts of players, right? This is a guy, he really came on strong to the draft community during the Senior Bowl week. He showed up there, and reporters, coaches, scouts, everyone saw him in person, and everyone's just described him as this ideal football player in terms of build, in terms of the way he carries himself, in terms of the way he acts around other players. He's a great leader. He's a strong, physical specimen of a guy. I think he would be great to slot in right behind Harold Landry, let him develop a little bit there, and take over that starting spot soon. He is potentially the best run defending edge in this class, and he can get after the quarterback also. And that seems to me to be what Vrabel and them are trying to build here, is a team that gets after the quarterback up the middle stops the run on the edge in the linebacker unit, and also can get after the quarterback a little bit from the edge. Oladejo, or O2 is what I've been calling him. O2 would be a perfect fit in that unit. Moving along to pick number 77, this is the pick that we picked up from Atlanta in the Matthew Judon trade. I think using that for Omar Norman Lott out of Tennessee. Now, this is a penetrating defensive tackle that can get behind the line and get after the quarterback. He's not going to give you a lot in run defense, but he is going to push that pocket. And again, I think that seems to be the defense that the Patriots are building right now. Players like Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, that can get after the quarterback right in the middle, and then good run-stopping edge defenders like Anthony Jennings, Harold Landry, Robert Spillane, surrounding those guys. Omar Norman Lott gives you a good backup plan if Christian Barmore does not continue to be healthy, and or come back and be consistently healthy, rather. And he gives you some depth in that room if he does. Everybody wants a rotation that you can just continue putting in guys that keep up the heat on the quarterback, and they come in fresh, and that's just what you want. So Omar Norman Lott gives you that. Moving on to round 4, pick 105. I believe it's 106 now that the compensatory picks have come out. Here I've got us taking Holland Pierce, Rutgers offensive tackle. This is a mammoth of a guy. Okay, 6'8", 350. He was a walk-on at Rutgers initially. He came in at 450 pounds and dropped 100 pounds to get down to playing weight, 350. He's extremely raw, despite the fact he started 40 games at left tackle at Rutgers. But he's still a raw prospect. He's going to need a lot of coaching. But that's a lot of clay to mold, okay? You're going to have to probably keep an eye on his fitness. You're probably going to have to work, with the nutrition staff or conditioning staff and so forth a lot to keep him at a lean playing weight, lean 350. But if you're able to coach this kid up, I mean, the sky's the limit for him, right? He's such a massive prospect that it's hard to not look at that and think about the things you could do as from a coach's perspective. I think there are some other guys in that range that could also fit too. Chase Lunt, who's also very tall, 6'8", but a lot smaller, 290. He needs to go the other way. He needs to add on some weight, particularly in the lower half there. But I think the important thing is in this range, at some point in time, you get someone who's a more prototypical tackle build than Will Campbell, due to the arm length concerns primarily, and also due to the fact that the Patriots currently, as they stand, need not only a left tackle, but potentially a left guard and or center. And so, I mean, in a perfect world, you come in and Will Campbell all of a sudden slots right into left guard, and whoever you draft later on slots right into left tackle, and you run from there. Probably not likely, right? A lot of third-round rookies starting at left tackle right away. But eventually, perhaps they develop together and you have a whole new left side of the line. At worst case, you've got a mammoth of a guy that's, playing or competing for swing tackle. Potentially a guy at the size like that you might see as like a Phil Lodeholt type at the right tackle position too. So there's a number of things you can do with a player like that. Another player that I would think about is like an Ozzie Trapillo, Boston college kid. I'll go on about him at some point in another video, but I am a big fan of his. I think he'll be gone by the 4th round. You'd probably have to take him in the 3rd round, maybe even late in the 2nd. But he is an excellent prospect, more of a prototypical tackle build, tall, long, lean. So anyway, that wraps up the 4th round of this pick. To review again, at 4 we took Will Campbell. At 38, Jaden Higgins to fill in that X receiver slot. At 69, we took 02 Oluwafemi Oladejo and he's going to play edge. And at 77, Omar Norman Lott out of Tennessee, defensive tackle. And then at 106, Holland Pierce, Rutgers offensive tackle. So listen, let me know what you think about the picks down in the comments below. Let me know where you think I went wrong. Let me know what you think I got right. And let's have a little talk. Let's have a little dialogue. All right. Thank you for watching the intro video of NFL Draft Dialogue. I hope to see you for a lot more videos.